कुंज जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजनंदन यशोदानंदन ब्रजनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजनरंजन योदानंदन ब्रजरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राम माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राम माधव कुंज बिहारी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा कुंज हरे राधा कुंज बिहारी राधे जय जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरा जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय प्रेमानंदे श्री हम संघ की Hare Krishna. Let's see, can everyone see my screen? Yes. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So we welcome for this nice, wonderful, or just a little cold morning. This wonderfully auspicious day feast program. And we gather here, especially here, we gather here to answer a lot of questions. Already selected my targets. But we gather here to hear auspicious Hari Katha, to have full darshan of the deities, to hear and chant the names of the Lord, have wonderful Sangha of Vaishnavas. So we will be talking about a topic is because from time to time to depend of myself where I am I doing the right things or not. And my spiritual life actually started this week. It actually started with this verse. The verse that we are going to talk about today is the first verse of Bhagavad Gita I had heard. And so it sits very close to my heart, and I try to use it, as some for spiritual life. So before we start out, we will do Mangalacharan to invoke blessings from our acharyas. So we'll do the Mangalacharan together. ज्ञातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जया उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै नमः श्रीचैतन्यनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले कामह्यं ददाति स्वं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां सागरजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्णादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुण सिंधु दीनबंधो जगते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्ताञ्जन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते वेदान्त स्वामिनिति नाम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, how many of us have been connected? Oh, wait. Did the Mangalas not go up at all? Okay. I was assuming here is showing up there. Oh, my. So, just a question. How many of us were here where we were in digital space back then? Because how many of us were here in 2020? Quite a lot of hands. So, this is a, I've just picked up the presentation that we had shared in 2020. And, we have repackaged it with some added, realizations over the years that I had in mind and things that I've heard. And so the topic that we are going to be discussing today, something before, it is also something we always talk about, right? So the topic for is attaining spiritual or cultivating spiritual depth, right? So in life, anything we want or we want to achieve, we always want to have something of good quality. Is it not, right? So what are the different things that we have in life that are of quality? Anyone has any examples? Sorry? Car. Yeah, good quality car. Yes. Prabhu, please make a note. I think his eye is on the Tesla. But yes, we want things of good quality. And whenever we say the word deep, it usually signifies or refers to good quality, right? We want deep love, right? We want to love deeply and we want to be loved deeply, right? Anybody here wants shallow love? Half-hearted, half time with me, half time with someone else. Anybody here? Or it doesn't even think, only have to be spousal love, or it can also be from parent. Half-hearted love doesn't care about me, right? We want deep friendship. Does anybody want a friend? They say a friend in need is a friend indeed, right? Anybody wants a time pass friend, Unfortunately, many times we end up having that, right? We want deep fulfillment. When we eat that gulab jamun, right? The expression that we say is hits the spot, right? You have a gulab jamun that is a little salty. Does it give fulfillment? No. We want deep fulfillment, right? We want deep meaning. We want deep friendships. We also want deep pockets. Anybody here doesn't want deep pockets? No? Any generous person feeling very magnanimous today? We have a checkbook. If you don't want deep pockets, right? We spend so much time, actually half of our life goes in cultivating deep pockets. Invest in stocks, mutual funds, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that makes us richer faster. The irony of having deep pockets is, in Hindi I'll say it and I'll translate it. So I heard this from Vrajvihari Prabhu. Vrajvihari Prabhu was saying, मेरी जेब में एक छेद क्या गिर गया, सिक्कों से ज़्यादा रिश्ते गिरने लग गए. That I had a small hole in my pocket and more than dimes I lost relationships. Right? But we want deep pockets, every one of us, right? So when somebody gets connected with spiritual life, somebody comes to the, ISKCON, somebody reads Bhagavad Gita, and as they start getting connected slowly, and then we start, now it's time to get a little serious. But as soon as when it comes to spirituality, don't do too much, huh? I don't want to be a Pandit. I don't want to be a Babaji. My nickname in college was Babaji. Right? So it is extremely important to actually cultivate spiritual depth. And today we will talk about points why it is important. It is going to be relevant for people who are new to Krishna consciousness. It's going to be relevant to people who are intermediate. It's relevant even to the most advanced people, because the most advanced devotees are always looking for ways to go deeper. So there is a very beautiful verse in the Bhagavad Gita. We will do this. We will recite. We will learn from Srila Prabhupada in his purports what he mentions about having deep spiritual practice. And then we will talk about why. And once the why is convincing, the how is just a natural consequence. Right? So let's recite this verse. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 70. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami apuryamana pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami apuryamana pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami. Okay, now test time. I will disconnect and we can recite. No, I'm just kidding. Can we have one Prabhu and one Mataji recite? Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakami. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Isn't it wonderful to recite the verses of Bhagavad Gita? They're so powerful, filled with so much meaning. Let's read the translation. Can one volunteer please read it loud? Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Let's read from the purport. Let us see what Srila Prabhupada is explaining. Hare Krishna. More volunteers. Nobody is going to be spared. I have a lot of purports, lot of snippets. Sorry. Thank you, Prabhu. Should I ask a question? Are we ready? The devotee, however, is not disturbed by such desires because of dash. Fill in the blanks. 5 marks. Oh, the answer is right there. What is it? What is fullness, right? Srimati Kunti Maharani, she speaks a very beautiful verse. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta gunavrittaye atmaramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namaha. I'm going to ask another question before we come to this. And I want to hear what everyone's thought is. So, here's the funny. As soon as I say, I want to ask a question, we are looking like this, straight down. This is meant to be spiritual enlightenment. So there is no wrong answer, right? Whatever is in the heart can come out, and then we learn together. Does God belong to the poor person, or does God belong to the rich person? Prabhu says neither. Prabhu will also quote a praman from scriptures to prove that. Right? Especially in India, there is a saying, Daridra Narayana. If God is for poor. Here Kunti Maharani said what? Namo akinchana vittaya. Akinchana. And vitta means what? Money, possession, valuables of this world. And she is making a prayer, Namo akinchana vittaya. So is Kunti Maharani wrong about, she is saying akinchana vittaya, somebody who does not possess anything. So why is Kunti Maharani then saying that, Krishna, you are Atmaram, you are Shantaya, you are a Kaivalyapati, you are the master of the monists. But why is Kunti Maharani saying that, Krishna, you are the property of the ones who have nothing? So how do we understand that? Yes, getting closer. She is referring to material possessions. Yes, and? Yes, that's even more closer. So, because if we can dive deep into that also, and that will be a deep dive in that verse. But the answer is that yes, Kunti Maharani is saying that you are the property of the person who does not have a possessive mentality. That this belongs to me, I am the Lord and Master. So, akinchana vittaya, you can be a billionaire, but when you think all the Lakshmi that I have belongs to the Lord, then you are also akinchana vittaya. And then the Lord belongs to you, because you say everything belongs to the Lord. So a devotee is not disturbed because the devotee's heart is filled. But filled with what? Love for Krishna, love for his devotees, right? So it's a very beautiful line in the purport. I like that. My mind kind of zooms into it. And it is brilliant that the last time I was reading, every time I read through the purport, some line sticks out. And it becomes your meditation for the day, right? Or for the week, for the month. There is more. Let's talk about it. Can I have one volunteer? Kirti. Hare Krishna. Fill in the blanks. One more question. The proof of a Krishna conscious man, or in brackets woman, is dash. Sorry, I cannot hear. We can be confident. The answer is right there, up on the screen. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Prabhu. Study their activities. Steady in their activities. Oh, yes, but not the answer I'm looking for. But I did hear somebody from this side speak the right answer. Lost all inclinations for material sense gratification. The proof of a Krishna conscious person is. Sorry, can we repeat again loudly? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. I do apologize, but it is my innate nature to trouble others. But this is Srila Prabhupada's words. This is what we are here for, right? So let us get logged in and let us forget everything else for some time. Next part of the purport. One more volunteer, Prabhu, from somebody in the back. Thank you, Prabhu. I will skip my question in the interest of time because we will never be able to go deep. We will remain shallow in our discussion. This is the last snippet of the purport. Let's read it out loud as well.
Material bondage. The devotees of Krishna have no material desires, and therefore they are in perfect peace.
Thank you. There is a very beautiful verse. Actually, Srila Prabhupada is literally writing it in English. It is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let us remember that this is a very easy verse to remember. I promise it's one of the easiest verse to remember. Okay? So please repeat after me. I'll say it one word at a time. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta. So it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shanta Ata Eva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakaliya Shanta. Are we getting a hang of it? We'll try it one more time. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakaliya Shanta. The fruitive workers, Bhukti. The salvationist, Mukti. And the yogis after mystic power, Siddhi. Sakali, Ashanta. In the Bhagavad Gita itself, Lord Krishna says, Ashantasya kuto sukha. Where is the question of happiness? Where is the question of sukha if there is no peace? So Krishna is saying that, Srila Prabhupada also Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying, Krishna Bhakta is Nishkama. Krishna Bhakta doesn't desire anything for oneself, which is why he is peaceful. Last time I had asked a question, actually, I don't remember when, but I'm going to throw this puzzle out again. Maybe somebody will remember the answer. What is that the one thing that if you bind that person with it, okay? There is something you can bind a person. What happens when a person is bound? you cannot move. But if you bind that person with that thing, that person starts running here and there. देख- Dangerous advertisement. What is that one thing that if you bind that a person with that, that person goes here and there running like mad. And you untie the knot, and that person stands still. Love, what else? Sorry? Relationships. Yes, these are all great answers. There you go. The teacher gets 100 marks. Manushyanam. No, not that verse. Ashanam Manushyanam Kachid Ascharya Shrinkhala. Ashanam, material desires, Kachid Ascharya. What? This is actually a Subhashitani. So, what a surprising thing. Ashana Manush Kachid Ascharya Shrinkhala Yavad Baddha Pradhavanti Muktas Tishtanti Pungavat. You tie a person with desires. Mommy, I want chocolate. Mommy, I want pizza. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. And then you relieve that, a person of desires, calm. So, bhukti mukti siddhikami sakali ashanta. Why? They are bound. And that being bound by it, it causes you to run helter-skelter to find some shelter. But alas, material world is always disappointing. So the analogy of the ocean is very beautiful here. And I've been meditating on why is Krishna talking about ocean? What is this characteristic of this ocean, right? So I just went on, Google and started looking, how deep is the ocean, right? Because we are apuryamanam achala pratishtham, like desires that enter, like rivers enter into our backyard, ocean, right? So, 330 feet. I am barely like 5'5", between 5'5" and 5'6". This is 300 feet, is still well lit. Once you dive in, how many of us have actually done like scuba diving or anything like that? Wow, just one. We enter into the water, right? There is well lit zone. Then as you deep dive, 800 feet, it is again, there's the deepest dive, 2400 feet. There are places, the water pressure increases. Submarines will implode. Recently, there was also a case like that. 2,700 feet, the tallest building in the world, you do it ulta. And you dip it in the water. Like sometimes people put biscuit in tea. Well, Hare Krishna devotees don't do that. We put it in milk. Take the tallest building in the world, you dip it. How deep will you reach? 2,700 feet. Right? Then you go farther. Then there is this place you cannot even reach. Sunlight also does not even penetrate. That's still not the end, right? You can keep going deeper, 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 and then you realize you can take the tallest peak of the world, and you can take it, if you could lift it like Hanuman, and you can also dip it in the ocean, and still you wouldn't hit the bottom. You pick up Mount Everest, you dip it, you will reach 29,000 feet. Right? And so, the nature of the ocean is that the ocean is so deep, which is why how much ever you pour into it, the ocean is not, tomorrow you will not get a message, the ocean is complaining, hey, this river actually dumped a lot of water into me, so I am coming into your city. Right? 225 million tons of dissolved solids and 513 million tons of suspended sediment goes into the ocean. How many tons of prasadam, how many pounds of prasadam do we make? 25 pounds. Sometimes even that is heavy to lift. We are talking about so much the ocean can take. So what is Lord Krishna telling us? This is actually, he's describing the characteristic of a sthita pragya, a person who's stable in their spiritual practice. Krishna is asking us to be as deep as the ocean. Which means, is anybody in this room easily disturbed? I will raise my hand first. Right? Easily disturbed. Why? Like a simple thing that comes out like a small rocket, it just ignites us. And we explode like a cracker. But Lord Krishna is saying, even if something like of the magnitude of million tons of comes into your conscious, doesn't bother you. But that can only happen when you are as deep as the ocean. Right? So which is why we need to talk about why spiritual depth is needed. Right? One time, and I think this is a joke I heard from Kanhai Gopal Prabhu. A lot of us might have heard it already, but I will just, bring it just to lighten the mood a little bit. One time a person, the Sheikh of Dubai, the king, how many Ferraris does he have? Does anybody know? Probably like 100 or something, Rolls Royce and stuff. He comes to get some blood transfusion. So he comes and I will take the liberty because I am from that background, so I can make fun of that background. Sakshi Gaurang Prabhu is already laughing, he knows. He comes and he finds a donor. He is a Gujarati. And we all know, I will not speak for the whole community, but many times, right? So he gives, the blood transfusion happen, he gives him, the business is done. And as he leaves, he gives him a Rolls Royce. This guy gets so happy, my God. Well, imagine, it's not easy to get a Rolls Royce, right? You have to have deep pockets. So this guy again needs blood transfusion a few years later, so he comes back again. And he contacts him, they set it up, so the whole procedure is done again. So as he is leaving this time, he gives him a box of dates. So this guy gets confused. Hey, last time you came, you gave me Rolls Royce. But this time, the delta is too much. Why? So he turns around and looks at me. Whose blood is in my veins now? Right? So we all have our own conditionings that, show up from time to time. The reason is that if we don't cultivate any spiritual depth, the process of spiritual life is pratyaksha avagamyam susukham kartum avyayam. It is happy. It is very blissful. So as soon as you enter this temple hall right in this room, you immediately forget a lot of your miseries, a lot of the stress goes away. Temple is by nature in Sattva Guna. Right? And you automatically are uplifted. As soon as you step out, what happens? Ravana had 10 heads. And Lord Ram is cutting each of his heads with an arrow. And it goes down. And what happens as the head goes down? Back again. So also our dormant conditionings, they will calm down. They will settle down for a bit. Even when you start your spiritual life, for some time, your conditionings will go down for some time. And you will feel what? Jeet gaya. I won. And in a matter of some time, somebody comes and tells you something. Hey, you did not wash the plate properly. Hey, who are you talking to? How could you talk to me like that? Immediately everything comes out. Like somebody just vomits, it just all comes out, right? So our mind and our senses cannot be trusted that much. One of our Prabhus used to joke a lot in Hindi. He used to say, "Jo man ki sune wo monkey." Man ki monkey. Who listens to the mind is like a monkey. The mind is monkey. And so this is a very beautiful verse. It actually is so powerful, is Krishna is telling us that if we don't go deep, what is going to happen? Yatato yapi kaunteya Purushasya vipaschitah Indriyani pramathini Haranti prasabham manaha. Can one person read the translation? Thank you, Prabhu. So mind will run like this, and if we are not anchored, instantly will be gone, right? Distracted from the path. So there is one side which is the negative side, which is the mind. You have to control the mind. The mind gets so, it's so ugly and all that thing. But what's the purpose of controlling the mind? Why do we control the mind? To focus on greater things like bank balance, stock market. Sorry, it's coming so much in my head. Maybe I've been looking at it a lot. What else? Yes, but what's the goal? Krishna connection. Yoga comes from the word yujjati, which means to reconnect. Religion, religio, which means to bind back. Our goal is we want to connect with Krishna. We want to love Krishna. We want to feel loved by Krishna. Krishna has such beautiful, loving relationships with his devotees. Very recently, we were celebrating the month of Kartik, Damodar Mas. And what happens in Damodar Mas? What's the pastime that happens? Krishna is bound. You know what happens when Krishna is eventually the Yamalarjuna trees fall down? What happens after that? The trees come crashing down. That's huge, tumultuous sound of the trees crashing down. And Nanda Maharaj comes running, the Brajvasis come running. What happened? What happened? What happened? And they are worried. And they see little Krishna. He's standing between, the trunks, the okhal. It has literally, the trees have come down. Everybody is worried. Everybody is stressed, tensed. Krishna, and they go run. Nanda Maharaj runs and grabs Krishna. And he holds him. And he takes him. And he asks him, oh, my dear Lalla, who bound you, Lalla? Who kept you in this situation? Now imagine our Krishna, what did he do when Mother Yashoda was tying him? Well, he did before that, he broke the pot, which is why he was bound. He was crying, right? Crying so hard. And he has cried so much. Every time he goes and teases all the gopis, the Brajbasis. This time when he is crying, all the Brajbasis have seen him. So Krishna is like, Ijjat, my reputation has been hurt here. So Nanda Maharaj is asking Krishna, who did this? Krishna is, who else? Your wife. Now no, Maiya. My reputation is gone, your wife. Oh, my dear Lalla, we are so sorry. And Mother Yashoda is trying to come to Krishna, but Krishna is not looking at all at Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda is coming from this side, so Krishna looks there. Mother Yashoda comes from around, she looks and Krishna looks there. And Nanda Maharaj is like, Krishna, please, that is Maiya. If you do like this to Maiya, then who will bathe you, Krishna? So Krishna says, you, Baba. So Lalla, if you do this, then who will feed you, Krishna? You, Baba. So everything Nanda Maharaj starts to pacify him, ask him, who will do this? You, Baba. Absolutely does not want to look. And so this is called Mana Leela. And this is described by Kavi Karnapur and Ananda Vrindavan Champu. So I heard a class and so I'm just narrating that pastime. I'm saying Krishna's connection is so sweet and he's doing such sweet, charming pastimes. And now he's angry at Mother Yashoda. Never before has this happened. And Mother Yashoda starts feeling so bad. And Mother Yashoda immediately starts to cry, and she goes in another room and she starts crying. She starts crying so much that my Lalla, my Krishna, he is angry with me, he is sad with me. What have I done? And so Nanda Maharaj's elder brother's wife, Upananda's wife, she realizes, hey, now it is getting serious. No, Yashoda, she goes to Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, she cannot console her in any way at all. Mother Yashoda starts feeling separation from Krishna. And she comes back and she starts pacifying Krishna. Krishna, please, no. How could she tie me? And so eventually then she goes, she sees Mother Yashoda is in extremely distressful condition. And she comes back to Krishna. Krishna, in your separation, if you don't go to Mother Yashoda, she will give up her life. As soon as Krishna hears that, he jumps out of his Nanda Maharaj's lap, goes and runs to Mother Yashoda, and he just goes, Maya, and he embraces her. And as Mother Yashoda sees him, they both start to cry. And they hug each other and they are crying. And Mother Yashoda is saying, I'm so sorry, it was my fault. And then Krishna is saying, no, Maya, I am sorry, it was my fault. That never happens. Krishna's loving exchanges with his devotees are so beautiful. This same personality who cannot be bound by anyone was bound by the love of his devotee. So we are looking for that Krishna connection. We are not looking for this temporary Sunday Indian dressing ritual. That's not what Krishna consciousness is about. It's not about creating some things. It's not about any of the external things. The singing, the dancing, everything is meant to focus our minds on connecting with Krishna. So if we are not focusing on going deeper, they say like we have missed the essence. Right? Very nice verse about this in the Bhagavad Gita. Mad chitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Translation? Thank you. They derive great satisfaction and bliss from what? Conversing about the latest F1 race, latest episode on Netflix, the latest ups and downs of the political world, the latest happenings in whatever is the celebrity world. Where is our great satisfaction hidden in? Kathayantascha mam nityam. In hearing and enlightening one another about what? Krishna. So there is a very beautiful purport. This is, I will request, I will beg and plead with everybody. This is Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, verse number 9. Please go today when you go back home. How many of us have the Bhagavad Gita as it is in our homes? Most of us. Please open the book, go read this purport. And there is a very beautiful description of how your bhakti evolves, how your connection with Krishna evolves. And Srila Prabhupada explains it so beautifully. In the interest of time, I'm going to skip through that. And so how many reasons we have seen so far? 2. Number 1 was, Krishna connection is number 2. And the number 1 was? That's a good quiz. Our dormant conditionings. That they will keep coming back at us again. The game is never, done. Number three is we need strength to tolerate the turbulence of this world, right? In plane, when we are flying, how many of us have flown in a plane? I assume everyone. And imagine the plane is smooth, and immediately you feel a like a whoop. Namaste Naras. Right? The world is a turbulent place. The thing is, we settle in the turbulence. We think the turbulence is normal. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gum. Kabhi chaku, kabhi gun. That's the nature of this world. We think, this is normal. And somebody comes from a spiritual platform, tells us, my dear sir, please wake up. You are in an extremely turbulent situation. Just look at the way your mind is working. This is normal. And when turbulence, sometimes it comes, what happens is we get jolts. Jor ka jhatka. And so in our normal turbulence, you get, then, I need to think, what does life mean? I will stand 1 hour under the shower meditating on what is the goal of my life. Right? When in Hindi, it's called Shmashan Vairagya. Is when you see somebody, when you see a dead body, and everybody is a philosopher in Shmashan, in a what's the word? In a morgue, or the place where people burn dead bodies, right? Cemetery. Everyone is a philosopher in cemetery. Why? You experience the turbulence. You realize, this world is temporary. Oh, what about my plans about this? Everything is going to end. So not death is the final turbulence, the final jhatka. In between, life keeps on giving us injections. Right? COVID comes. Suddenly the life equation is changed. The president changes, immigration rules change, life equation has changed. Some war happens in some countries, life equation changed. Right? Somebody says something to us, life equation changes. So the turbulence of the world is going to come at us without our permission. So here is a beautiful verse I was just sharing with Sakshi Gaurang Prabhu. I was teasing him about it, but this was also my meditation. When Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu are having conversation, Hiranyakashipu is asking, Prahlad, what did you learn in school today? Little 5-year-old kid. And who is he talking to? Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is what? He has defeated the Devatas. He has not defeated them. You can defeat someone, like if I say I will do, like if I do arm wrestle with Mohit in the back, he has so much arm strength, I'll be done, right? And so he can defeat me. But he is a nice person, he will not terrorize me. Hiranyakashipu terrorized the Devatas. Sometimes when you are a little kid, sometimes some adult face will scare you a lot. So even when they look at you, sometimes that kid runs away. So Hiranyakashipu raises his eyebrow. Just the eyebrow. This is not my word, this is Srimad Bhagavatam saying, Devatas are terrorized. Atank. And those Devatas are terrorized, and here is Prahlad Maharaj speaking with him. Look at the contrast. Here is where spiritual depth is reflected. He tells his father, Tat sadhu manye asuravarya dehinam sada samudvigna dhiyama sadgrahat hitvatma papam grihamandhakupam vanam gato yadharimashayeta. Oh, best of the demons. Asuravarya dehinam. Because you are completely absorbed in materialistic activities, you are sada samudvigna dhyam asadgrahat. You are always disturbed. And what Prahlad Maharaj, 5-year-old kid, he's telling Hiranyakashipu, what should he do? Vanam gato yadharimash. He go to forest. What stability of heart is there, that this person who can terrorize Indra, who can terrorize all devatas, this person is talking to him as if like he is talking to another 5-year-old child. So the turbulence of the world, Hiranyakashipu, is a very important lesson to learn, and we always share this. Sometimes people think that spirituality is practiced to achieve a goal. You know, you don't have something in life, you go to God to ask something. You don't have peace, you don't have happiness, you go to ask that, you know. Some person can say, I don't need spirituality. Why? I get what I want. Fair point? Hey, if I get what I want, why do I go to God? So here is another question we ask always. Do you not get what you don't want? There is no human being on this planet or no living entity in this entire existence who can claim that they don't get what they don't want. Hiranyakashipu is the best example. Got everything as he wanted. What did he get as son? Prahlad Maharaj. Complete equation is right. So material life is summarized in a single word. It's a 3-letter word. Should I spill the beans or should I ask questions? It's a 3-letter word, B-U-T. But. Arey Prabhu, my life is so good, but my green card is in 15 years wait list. Everything is so nice, but my husband doesn't listen to me. Everything is so nice, but yeah, the kid is struggling a little bit. Everything is so... There's always a but. You get what you don't want. That's the turbulence of the world. And so if there is no depth like Prahlad Maharaj, then what is our situation going to be? Sada samudvignadiyam sadgrahat. Always disturbed. Hiranyakashipu is actually so intoxicated that his eyes are rolling in his head. You know, like how drunk people do. I cannot do it. So we need spiritual life to actually tolerate, you know, the turbulence of the world. I have 2 more minutes, so I'm going to speed through this, speed cycle through this. The strength to resist temptations. Is it not important? A very pessimistic philosopher said, all morality is simply the lack of opportunity. So one time I was having a conversation with my boss in my previous job, and we were talking, somehow the discussion brought spiritual life, this, that. And I was talking about, how ideal kings in Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's like, hey, that is fine. But you say all these politicians and all these people are bad. You say this because you don't have it. But when you get that power, you will do the same things. I was like, oh, wow. That's something I have not reflected in myself. Because you don't have the opportunity, what else can you do? You do morality. Somehow or the other, follow moral rules. If nobody is watching, there is no repercussions. And then practice morality. So in every human beings, there is 3 kinds of life. There is public life. This is my public life, sitting here, wearing dhoti kurta, sitting in front of everybody, talking big talks. Then everyone has a private life. Everyone has a public life. Everyone has a private life. Private life is your dealings with your kids, your near and dear ones, your life in your home, everything else. And then there is a small sprout. It's called the secret life. It's the life we hide from others. It's the life we also sometimes hide from our near and dear ones. It's the life we wish and we pray never comes out. But the thing is, it exists in many cases. So Bhagavad Gita is, our depth in our spiritual life is supposed to help us clip it off. So that our external and our internal are harmonized. We live according to what we speak. Right? So the strength to resist temptations, if there is no depth in spiritual life, forget about your morality is like a building standing on the foundation of shifting sands. Will you rent an apartment if the building is on sand? Will we buy a house if your house was built on sand? No. So our morality is sitting on shifting sands if our spiritual life is not deep enough. So we'll give up. What happens is we start looking for happiness in material world itself. Right? Material happiness is like the scriptures explain. Anybody in this room likes honey? Maple syrup? Sweet things? The chashni of gulab jamun, rasgulla? Just the chashni? The chashni of baklavas? What if I were to tell you like I'm giving you something in a cup, but it only has like a little bit of poison in it? Would you accept it? Come on, it's so sweet, it's nice. So the Shastra explained, the happiness of this world is like, honey mixed with the poison. So there is this one I heard from Raj Vihari Prabhu, it stuck with me again. And in this way, the person just completely engrosses oneself again in the same material cycle, the same, trying to find some happiness in painfully difficult material situations. So he said this, and I'll translate it in English, but I'm not a poet, so I cannot do it fully well. तजुर्बे ने यही बात सिखाई है, नया दर्द ही पुराने दर्द की दवाई है. My experience has told me or taught me that new pain is the medicine for old pain. And one again goes back to the same material life, same punah charvita charvananam, eating, chewing the chewed. How many of us have chewed a gum? That's going to be my last question because I need to go to the last slide and wrap this up. Chewing gum, right? How many hours can you chew it? An hour? Say if I told you, like, you get a chewing gum, get a plate, chew it for 2 hours, take out the chewing gum, keep it in the plate, put it aside. 5 hours later, take the chewing gum, put it in your mouth. Enjoy it. Then again, 5 hours later, put it back, then again come. Punah charvita charvananam. You're repeatedly suffering, but not giving up material pleasures. So we need the strength to resist temptations, which is why our spiritual life needs to be deep. Very beautiful verse, Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse number 58. We'll not get into it. And the last one is hypocrisy. Is because, as I said, secret life. As the secret life is activated, the most miserable human being on the planet is the person who has a secret life. There is no loneliness that's worse than that when you have a secret life. Right? So, and we don't experience any connection with Krishna when we don't have that. Right? So, these are the reasons we need spiritual depth in our life. Right? We started our discussion with Apuryamanam Achala Pratishtham. And my Guru Maharaj gives a very beautiful example. This was the first example that I heard in my life. It has stuck with me is because it has become the compass for me in my life. And he gave this one example and that will summarize the whole discussion. How many of us are have driven on a road that has potholes, that has cracks and potholes, right? So at least in India, you get a lot of potholes. So when it rains, the pothole gets filled. And when the sun comes out and there is heat, the pothole dries out. But also on the shore of Mumbai is on the shore of the ocean never overflows because of the rain, and the ocean doesn't dry out because of the heat. If we don't cultivate spiritual depth, we become like potholes. And all the happiness and distresses of the world repeatedly affect us, repeatedly give us trouble. So unless we go deep like the ocean, unless we cultivate that depth, spiritual life, God realization, connecting with Krishna, everything remains a ritual. And we never really gain the essence of what we are actually starting this journey for. There is a lot to talk about how to cultivate spiritual depth, but we might have to do it at a later time because I'm already 6 minutes over. If there are any questions, I think in the interest of time, we can take it one-on-one offline. But at this point, I'll pause here and thank you all for your attention. I've spoken a lot of great big things here, but I will request and beg everyone to pray for me. And if you find that this guy is not walking the talk, please feel free to pull me by the ear and also tell me this is something that you have shared, but I don't see it, so that I put all these things in my life. This is a self-reflection. All of these mistakes I have made, I keep making, and I wrote it down so that I remember and I can make some progress. So thank you all for your attention, and we'll move on to the next part of the program. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kanhai Gopal Prabhu. Such a wonderful class. Reminds us of, Krishna summarizing the whole chapter, whole Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter itself. And, the 4 questions that Krishna is answering about how one behaves when who is in Sthita Pragya and how one walks. Is the last, this verse is part of the last 4 questions that Krishna is answering about a yogi who's a Sthita Pragya. How does he walk through the desires, the jungle of desires, of material desires that one may have? Thank you very much. Let's give him another round of applause. The next part of the program is Aarti. So we'll request everybody to please rise. And if you can stay away your mats in the back.
श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष पश्चात्यादिशतारिणे।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद।
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद।
जय गौरा भक्तवृंद। जय
गौरा भक्तवृंद।
जय गौरा भक्तवृंद। जय
गौरा भक्तवृंद।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram.
Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare.
Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Namaste Narasimhaya Oh Namaste Narasimhaya
Namaste
Pralada Lada Daine Pralada Lada Daine Hiranya हिरण्यकाशिपूर्वश्रः
काशीपूर्वृक्षः
शिलातङ्कनकालये
शिलातङ्कानकालाय
शिलातङ्कनकालये
शिलातङ्कानकालाय
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
ito nashima parato nashima
इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह
ito nashima parato nashima
यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
yato yato yami tato nashima
ओ यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह
yato yato yami tato nashima
बाहेर नरसिंह हृदयेर नरसिंह
bae nashima hidaye nashima
बाहेर नरसिंह हृदयेर नरसिंह
bae nashima
नादा श्रीरामदे शरणं प्रपदे नर श्रीरामदे शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
तव कर कमलवरे तव कर कमलवरे न कामभूतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकाशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय जय नरसिंहदेव
जय जगदीश हरे
तव कर कमलवरे नाकामद्भुत शृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय
जय
नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद
जय जय
महाराज
प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Tai Gaur Hari